What if you're in removal and your I-130 remains pending? Hi, I'm Jim Hacking, immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States out of our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. You know, with asylum cases taking so darn long to make their way through the asylum office themselves and the immigration courts, we've been seeing a lot of people get referred to the immigration court for possible removal who end up marrying a U.S. citizen. Now, this is a tricky situation. There are sort of two agencies at play here. There is USCIS, who has jurisdiction or the power over the I-130 application. And then there's the immigration judge and the attorney for the Department of Justice who's trying to deport you. And so you sort of have two competing agencies. And it's funny, when Joe Biden is president, when a Democrat's in the White House, they try to make USCIS move quickly on the I-130s. When Donald Trump was in office, he tried to get the immigration courts to move faster than USCIS to try to deport you before USCIS could rule on the I-130. But that's the problem. You are an immigrant. You have a path to stay in the United States, but you have competing interests, competing agencies, and a timeline that doesn't always add up. And so what we see is USCIS is the only agency that can approve the I-130. They are the only ones who can say that a marriage is valid. Meanwhile, you're getting court dates to show up for your master calendar hearing, which is sort of like a call docket. And that might be reset every year, every 18 months, every 6 months, depending on the judge, depending on the jurisdiction. And they're going to be asking, hey, what's going on with that I-130? Has USCIS approved it? And sometimes USCIS simply sits on that I-130. And there are a lot of reasons for that. Maybe they didn't like your asylum application. Maybe they can't find your asylum application. Maybe in their mind, you're already under the jurisdiction of the immigration court, so they're not in any big hurry to decide your I-130. But that's the whole basis of you staying here. You've got to get that I-130 approved, or eventually the immigration judge is going to deport you, right? So even if you have a path to relief, if you can't get your act together and can't get USCIS to adjudicate or decide your I-130, to decide that your marriage is valid so that you're then free to adjust status either in front of the immigration judge or more likely back with USCIS, then you're really going to find yourself in trouble. And so what we do is we try to keep the immigration judge happy by showing him or her progress with the I-130. So it might just be when you first find yourself in removal that you just got married. So progress might include filing the I-130, or progress might be that you had an interview on the I-130. You want to keep the judge updated as to what's happening. And then once the I-130 is approved, 9 times out of 10, we're going to recommend that you take that I-130 approval notice, you reach out to the Department of Justice lawyers and ask them to join with you in a motion to close or terminate your deportation proceedings so that you then can file an I-45, a green card application based on that approved I-130 with USCIS. So we want to get you out of immigration court and into USCIS so that they can decide your green card. So it's a multi-step process. So you file the I-130, you get the I-130 approved. You may have to show up in immigration court every now and then explaining to the judge what's going on. Sometimes the I-130 gets stuck and USCIS refuses to approve it. In that situation, if a year's gone by and you've got a pending court date in the deportation court, we're going to suggest strongly that you sue USCIS to get the I-130 moving to keep you from getting deported. So we're doing this right now for a client of ours. He wasn't particularly happy about our recommendation that they had to pay more money to sue them to get the I-130 adjudicated. But if he goes back to that immigration judge who was not too happy about giving him a continuance last time without a final decision on the I-130, that judge is going to be very inclined to deport him or to set his case for an individual hearing, and he won't have anything to defend himself, no legal basis to stay in the United States. So when you find yourself in that situation, it might be that you have an I-130 pending and you already have a removal order. And so you need to get that I-130 approval granted so that you can then go back and ask DOJ and the judge to set aside the deportation order to let you then come back to USCIS and get your green card from them. And we just did that for a different client out of Colorado, and we were very happy with that result, able to get him his green card after years of having been in deportation. So the main thing you have to understand is there's all these competing interests when a asylum seeker or some other person in deportation marries a U.S. citizen. you are in a race to get the I-130 decided, and you're trying to slow down the deportation case. If you have questions about this, or if you'd like our help with your I-130, or with navigating that path between the immigration courts, the EOIR, and USCIS on your I-130, we'd be happy to work with you. Just give us a call at 314-961-8200, or you can email us info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. If you're just looking for free resources, that's totally okay. We have no problem with that. We've got lots of them for you. We have the Immigrant Home Facebook group, which you can join for free. If you just look in Facebook, look for Immigrant Home, we'll let you in. And we have our YouTube channel where I have thousands of videos going into all kinds of immigration topics. We try to copy or cover all those things, and we try to keep those fresh and updated. So if you have any questions, you might be able to look in there. You should also subscribe to the YouTube channel so that whenever I make a new video like this one, you're the first one to get alerted, and we can keep you updated. And that's also where you're going to find our Immigration Answer Show, which is a free show that I do 3 or 4 times a week, answering as many immigration law related questions as I can for free for an hour. And then finally, if you're not already, follow us on TikTok @Immigration Hacking. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.